Yep.
Okay. Seeing it is 6 o'clock and this is the reorganization of the Jackson School Board meeting, I would like to call the meeting to order. And due to the state of emergency declared by the governor as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, and in accordance with the governor's emergency order number 12, pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04, this public body is authorized to meet electronically. It has been posted and people can dial in or join via Google Hangout. Couple other things, we are recording this meeting, so people need to know that. In the event that we do go into non-public, we will ask that everybody leave except for the school board members and those who are taking minutes. We do have Melissa Donaldson here tonight who will be recording the minutes, and she'll get a copy of this videotape as well. So with that being said, all votes will be done by roll call. So to start the meeting, I will do a roll call of the Jackson School Board members. Simply, I will call your name and you can say present, and that will be used as a recording. So we'll start off with Jen Ansaldi.
Present.
Jerry Doherty.
Present.
Keith Bradley.
Present.
Kate Fournier.
Present.
And welcome aboard, Micah Burkhart.
Burkhart, present.
Burkhart, got it. Getting rid of that. All right. So the first order of business is to elect a chairperson for the Jackson School Board. We will need a candidate. Anybody would like to make a motion for Jackson School Board chair?
For 13 years in a row, I nominate Jerry.
Is there a second to that nomination?
I wouldn't mind staying.
Is there another candidate that would be nominated for chair?
I'd nominate Jen Ansaldi.
I'd second the nomination for Jen.
Okay.
Sorry, Keith, I don't see a reason to change right now.
Yeah, I just figured I'd done it for 12 years already. I think, why stop now?
Melissa, you're catching this, correct? Okay, thanks. I didn't see you. I was just making sure. Okay, so we have a nomination of Jen Ansaldi by Micah and seconded by Jerry. Are there any other candidates for chair? Is there any discussion about Jen Ansaldi for chair? By roll call vote, all those in favor of Jen Ansaldi for chair of the Jackson School Board? Jerry Doherty.
Yes.
Keith Bradley.
Yes.
Kate Fournier.
Yes.
Micah.
Yes.
And Jen.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, 5-0.
Thanks, Jen.
Madam Chair, the meeting is yours.
Thank you. Next order is vice chair. I nominate Jerry.
I second.
Kate, any question or anybody
I'm
else?
in. I appreciate your support, Jerry. That's great.
Okay. Any other nominations? No? Okay, with that in mind, we'll do roll call for Jerry for vice chair.
Jen Ansaldi.
Yep, we're good. Oh, you're going to do
Jerry
roll call.
Doherty.
Yes.
I'm the secretary too, just remember that. Keith Bradley.
Yes.
Kate Fournier.
Yes.
And Micah Burkhart.
Yes.
Great.
Okay, set meeting dates and time. Does the third Monday of the month still work for everyone at 6 p.m.?
Yes.
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 Can I ask a question?
Sure.
When I did my orientation, I thought that there was you had an option if you needed to miss 2 meetings per calendar year of the 11 meetings. Is that in fact a rule?
No.
No? Okay. I was mistaken. Thank you. I just wanted a clarification on that.
You still can't miss any meetings, but no.
I usually don't. I try. I don't get a vacation this year.
So all those in favor of keeping the meeting for the third Monday of the month, at the same time, 6 PM?
Jen,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Yes.
Kate,
Oh, yes, sorry.
and Micah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, adopt rules of order, agenda format. So first, adopt rules of order. We usually use Robert's rules. Sometimes I do slip to Bob's rules. You've heard that before. We try to contain Robert's rules. Agenda format has been discussed in the past, but for this meeting, let's just keep it at this format for voting purposes for tonight. So all those in favor of keeping or any discussion, anybody want to change them for any reason? No? Okay, so for all those in favor of keeping the rules of order and agenda format the same?
Jen,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Kate,
Yes.
and Micah.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to committee assignments. If everybody has their packet, you can look at what we currently have. We have removed Jessica, unfortunately, but we do have Micah, which is great. So I don't know if anybody wants to do it at this meeting or would like to submit some changes. I've reviewed mine where I am. I feel comfortable where I have been. I don't know if anybody has anything they'd like to change or would like to move to. I have some questions on the Bartlett Curriculum Committee. I didn't recall ever seeing a notice for a meeting on that, so I'll follow up on that. But anybody want to dive in and take anything or?
I'm happy to stay put. I feel like Jen, similar to your Bartlett curriculum, I kind of was late to the start on the policy committee, and I feel like I'm really just getting into that and would really like to stay.
Yeah, you're doing an excellent job, so I'd love to have you stay on that.
Thank you.
Yep. Anybody want to join the budget committee? We have an opening now. Keith is on it currently, and I don't know, Keith, if you want to stay on it, but I think you're really good there, so.
Yeah, I'd like to stay on it.
Okay. Would anybody like to join the budget committee? Don't all
I
jump.
always- I always think it's a good idea for the new member to join that because
Yeah,
it's a good way to learn.
Coming.
I mean, I'm happy to do it as well, but Mike, it's a good way to kind of,
Sure, I'm happy
in
to
and
be
get
on
your
the
feet wet.
budget committee. I'm also happy if we're just gonna roll through it here, where Jess was. I mean, I can sit wherever is needed, and I'm looking forward to drafting you all and learning right now. But I'm happy to be on the Whitney committee, the personnel that Jess is no longer on. I actually think it'd be interesting to be on the facilities committee. If I don't know if we need more people on that, or if Jerry and Keith, you guys are both set there and we don't need more people, but that's something that is interesting to me as well.
Oh, we could switch it up. We could, I don't know if you're open, but we also have, let's see. Boards, it would be nice to have one other person on there.
I'm okay. I'd be okay with being on that too. If we need people, I'm happy to step into that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's one that I tend not to be able to go to, so that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Jen,
Yeah, go ahead, Jerry.
I'd be happy to step off the facility committee because I think that's also a really good way for a new member to get their feet wet and kind of learn what's going on. So to know the building, and that's probably a good thing.
Cool.
I'll still be active on that department anyway, so I'd be happy to step off the committee for it anyway.
Okay.
And
You sure? Okay.
I know that the Whitney also is that one that has a bit of a learning curve, and there's some nuance there that I know that Jess worked really hard to really get up to speed on that. So is there anyone, Micah, I know has volunteered, but is there anyone that kind of feels comfortable with the Whitney? Is that a good spot for Micah to be?
By all means, grab it if not.
She said yes. I think, and I think we're all versed enough that we can certainly help out at any time if somebody has trouble or it gets really exciting on some subcommittee. I would hope that somebody raises their hand to say, can someone else help and come with me or learn? I mean,
And Gail really has a really good handle on the Whitney committee too. So, I mean, that's really where I think we get most of our guidance anyway. So.
Right. Micah, I attend every meeting and I'm an element of the committee. I'm required to be as the principal. It's part of the grant originally specified the principal needed to be a part of that committee.
Wonderful.
Great. What about the personnel committee? So I've been on that for a while. Jessica was great on that as well, but it's a, if you read the subcommittee, the sub notes on it, it's a nice committee to learn about position changes, other things of that nature going on inside the school. So Kate, those are usually during the day if you want to, how about
That
what
works
that?
for me. I'm happy to join that.
Okay. Kind of, sometimes.
If I
it
miss
falls
the
into
first
the
meeting, just
policy.
make sure that I know.
You will not. I will bring.
If I'm not there, it's because I'm off my radar.
The curriculum review, I don't know if we need to fill that at this point. I don't know how active that was.
I don't think a curriculum committee has met in any school for a long time. It's kind of handled at the SAU level now. So
we'll just leave that one. And then there is I don't know if Keith wants company on the bus, there is a vacancy for the bus committee. So Keith, would you like company?
Yeah, I don't think we've really had too much official except for where we're parking them. I think it's the only thing that's come up in a couple of years. So not a lot has been going on there.
All right. So if you need help or you can't make a meeting on that, just let us know. So we'll just leave it. Okay. All right. So I think that covers any changes that we have. Is everybody else okay with everything else on their committee assignments? Good?
yep.
Who do you have on the AHS student handbook review?
Where is that? Oh, that was Jessica. We have nobody right now. Sorry. Yep.
I thought Jen was on that.
Who, me?
Yeah, I thought you were on that one.
I have reviewed it. So,
There you go.
Yep.
Thank
All
you.
right. I think we've all equally been thrown under the bus. I think we can move on.
I missed the bus this time, I think.
I know you actually put someone else under it, Jerry. That was quite clever of you. All right.
I noticed.
Okay, let's see. All right, we're good with all that. I don't think we need to vote on that.
No.
And what's the change with the manifests? We're still Jerry, the chair and the vice chair, and Keith as an alternate.
That's fine. If that's the way you want to do that, that's fine.
Well, right now anybody's been signing it. I don't see why we can't do that too.
Yeah, especially when we're remote, that's fine. Okay. All right, so we'll keep it the same. Okay, so moving on, approved minutes for 3/5/20.
Make a motion to approve the minute.
Second.
Great. Any changes, questions on the minutes? No? Okay, all those in favor, roll call.
Jan Ansaldi,
Good.
Jerry Doherty,
Yes.
Keith Bradley,
Abstain.
Kate Fournier,
Yes.
and Micah.
Yes.
All right. Any citizen comments at this time? I'll give you a moment to unmute yourself if you start talking. Nobody? Okay. School programs? Presentation of school programs?
I don't have anything. It'll be under my report. I don't know if Gail, you have anything, but she has a report coming up a little bit later on.
Okay, great. Old business, early childhood ed update. I don't know if we need that on there or if we've moved that off to more of the facilities type update. Now that we've been approved for funding for the grant, I guess, not the grant, but to move ahead with looking at the grounds. So should we change that topic at this point to the master plan or something?
Do we know when that's going to start? Like when architects are kind of moving forward?
I don't know.
I believe that we've all been waiting for the stay-at-home order to be lifted before they come on campus, because part of it was also interviewing families and staff members and all of those other parts of it that will now have to shift to remote in the way that we have. So Perhaps, I don't know if Jim and John can get together with the facilities folks and decide how they want to move forward and talk with the architect again, because it kind of came to a halt when this whole COVID-19 piece came to be.
And so, I mean, I think Gail's right there. I mean, that's a good way to kind of start it out for now. And it also doesn't technically start until July 1st anyway, under the new budget year. So.
Right.
Okay.
But I'm okay with taking the early childhood development out of old business for now.
I think we should take it off and move it to the facilities and just get, a monthly update on where we are with the whole engineering project and the master plan, which we should be doing anyway. But if we have it under there, I think that makes sense.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
You should probably, because it is an agenda item, make a motion to remove it from the agenda.
Okay. All those in favor of removing early childhood ed update, replacing it with master campus plan, or I don't know.
I'll move just to remove early childhood ed off of old business.
I'll second that.
Okay. Roll call.
Jen Ansaldi?
Yes.
Jerry?
Yes.
Keith?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
And Micah?
Yes.
I'd like to add on though. I don't know if it's under old business or.
Jim, why don't we just wait until kind of
July?
Jim gets it started out, and what kind of what along the lines of what Gail said, it might become under old business at our next meeting. We can put it on, or the June meeting perhaps, and go from there.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to forget about it. Okay. Tuition.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
Now that I'm on the facilities committee, so does that mean that that's something that I would then talk to Jerry about, and we would be making sure we're getting an update or talk about how we can do it if we continue to be in the stay-at-home order? Or I'm not Jerry or Keith, should I just follow up with you to get some leadership on that?
I mean, for me, I almost think we should wait the 10 more days to see what happens on May 3rd or May 4th, because I think he'd be able to do a way better job if he could meet people in person. And the fact that we can't spend any money till July 1st anyway,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if we need to force him to do anything virtually. That's just my thoughts.
Well, I'll check in with you and learn a little bit about the process.
Okay.
Thanks, Micah. Okay, tuition contract for the high school. Do you have any updates on that? It's kind of.
No, if I might. Later on in your meeting, you have under board member issues, the appointment of a representative to the Cooperative School District Planning Committee. So to me, that would make the most sense to discuss that tuition contract, unless there's something else specifically that the board would like to investigate.
Not at this time for me. Anybody else? No? Okay. So we'll table it for then. Okay, so instructional issues. Consider second reading and adoption of policies. So I would like to, her recommendation, accept all as needed, and then we'll vote on them individually. Get that right, Kevin?
Yes. So, a consent agenda, just so we don't have to have roll call over and over again. If somebody would make a motion to accept the second reading of the policies, and then if somebody has an individual policy, you can pull that out and discuss that. It just makes it a little bit faster and easier, more efficient.
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading and adoption of the policies.
I can second that.
Great. Okay, so ABC, prohibitions regarding use and possession of tobacco products, e-cigarettes, and e-liquids in and on school facilities and grounds. Any discussion? Okay. JICK, public safety and violence prevention. Oh. JLC, student health services. JLCJ, and concussions and head injuries. And JLCK, special physical health needs of students. Any discussion on any of those? It is a second reading, so I'm okay if there isn't. All right. All those in favor?
By roll call, Jen Ansaldi,
Yes.
Jerry Doherty,
Yes.
Keith Bradley,
Yes.
Kate Fournier,
Yes.
and Micah Burhart.
Yes.
Great. Guidance regarding summer program. I believe this is Gail had some questions on what we should do, but Gail, go ahead.
Yes, given the COVID-19 piece and being out of school through the end of the year, I wondered what the will of the board was. And normally I would have hired and have a brochure out and ready to go by now, but it's hard to know what to do for the summer. We are required to provide ESY services, and that can happen with or without the summer enrichment program. So I'm a bit torn. There are a lot of options when it's a normal summer. However, I do believe that there are a few families that rely on that program for their childcare. So I wondered what the will of the board was in terms of what we should consider doing with the summer program this summer.
So do we know if Bartlett is going to have their program yet or no?
I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows.
I would say we roll the dice and not do it. And maybe if Bartlett does it last minute, maybe we can provide a bus service from Jackson Grammar School over to Bartlett or something.
I would say, is it based on, our feeling that it likely won't happen? Is it possible, do you have people in the pipeline that you could fill into those slots? Or is it like can you potentially hire on a potential basis?
I typically hire 2 to 3 counselors and then some teachers to support the program as well. It's hard to offer people something that may or may not happen. The other reason I'm considering it is because our enrollment was the lowest it's ever been last summer. And I'm not sure, there could be a million reasons for that. We've kind of been looking and trying to think about how we would increase the marketability of the program by offering some teachers that we're teaching. And I have some teachers on board that are willing to do at least 3 of the weeks. But I would need to hire people now to be able to be ready and get them trained and get the brochures out to parents and get the signups done. I'm not sure how willing our parents are going to be to sign up for a summer program at this point either. So that's why I'm just wondering, you can help me out with making the decision because I'm really not sure which way to go.
Gail, do you remember roughly last year how many out-of-town students were enrolled?
Probably 4 to 6 each week.
And that would have been 10%, 20%?
About a third of the participants were from out of state.
Were from out of state.
Right.
Yeah, I would say we scrap it this summer.
Do we have to have a plan for our students that have IEPs or special ed requirements over the summer, and how do we do that?
Yes, we do
That's
have to.
That's a different topic.
That's different? Okay, cool.
Right. And we will still do that and make arrangements to do that in a way that's best for the families and the kiddos.
Because that doesn't typically happen at the summer program, or it does, but it doesn't have to happen.
It's happened for some as part of the summer program, and then for others who've decided not to use the program, they just get the individual services they might require.
Okay.
I'm with Keith on this one. I think for planning purposes for people, it's easier just to cancel it now and rather than string people along for a while and then not be able to do it.
And I think we'll know more by our May meeting, and if we do, we'll know more if Bartlett is going to go forward or if we can, anybody. So if we need to, we can figure something out in conjunction with Bartlett if they're going to have it, if anybody's going to have anything.
And there's funds in the budget for it already. So if Bartlett does that, we want to try to provide bus transport to make it easier for Jackson families. I don't see why we couldn't do that.
I'm good with that. Are you okay with that, Gail?
So if I just want to be sure I'm understanding you correctly. So you wanted me to explore whether or not Bartlett was going to run and then make a final decision at the May meeting?
Well, I think we should wait till the May meeting at this point. And I would say that we are not going to have our summer program.
Okay.
And then if Bartlett is allowed to, and they're going to, and we have people interested, we'll figure out how to get our people over there.
Okay.
All right.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Kind of up in the air at this point, but all right. Okay, so we have, let's skip to number C, election of personnel 2021, or do you want to go into non-public in the middle of the meeting?
I would recommend doing it at the end of the meeting because then people won't be able to
Dial in, dial out.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Okay, so election of personnel for 2021. Okay. Do I need to read all the staff, or does everybody have?
It's on the screen as well.
Yeah.
Yes. Yay. Okay. We're just going to vote this in, right? That's all we're good?
Need a motion to elect?
I make a motion for the election of the personnel for the 2020-2021 school year.
Thanks, Jerry. Second. All those in favor?
By roll call, Jen,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Kate,
Yes.
and Micah.
Yes.
Great. Okay, moving on to business affairs. These are just FYI's 1920 budget status report. Anybody have any questions on the budget status report?
How does the budget look for right now? Do we know?
Let me take a look here. I think we're going to be okay. Obviously, I don't know if Lily, do you have a general sense of? I'm looking at it, and it looks like everything's been encumbered. You are going to be saving some money, simply in field trips, some athletic pieces, some stipend pieces, substitutes, those type of things there. I don't know, Gail, there are no unexpected costs that you've incurred, and if so, we've been moving some grant money as well to try and cover some of the costs, but I don't know, Gail?
You mean covering the cost of the food?
Yeah, that will get reimbursed too, but any other costs that you can think of that you've had to spend because of the COVID-19 piece?
Well, we just shifted some money into technology to make sure that our devices are in a better place. Should we ever have to do this again, we'd be able to get some of the kiddos on more seamlessly than they have been just by doing some upgrades in our devices. But we just moved some money. I think it's in the packet tonight, maybe, to transfer some money for technology.
That's the next item, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Are all of our staff members, are they still doing their jobs remotely and on our payroll? Is everybody still on the payroll is my question. Have people kind of been let go based on this?
No one has been let go. People are working reduced hours, and people are working maybe outside of their job description in many cases to cover the needs that were kind of new with this remote environment. Like Melissa riding the bus with the kids around town. I mean, that's obviously not written in a job description, but and the bus drivers are doing fewer hours. There have been some shifts and reductions in hours, but no one has been let go.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll talk a little bit more about that when I get to the update as well, and some of the potential recovery of some of those funds.
Okay, so we're good with the budget status report at this point? All right, budget transfer between functions. Everybody's okay with that? All right. Audit letter, any questions on that? And correspondence to board from selectmen. Anybody have any questions about that?
Jen, I can speak to that real quickly.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
So this is essentially when, back in March, I think it was right after, your district meeting, that in our office, the SAU office, we started to really think about how we're going to operate and ensure that we can pay bills and pay payroll and all of these different mechanisms. And I asked the finance office what was it that they would need in order to, the last thing you want to do is not meet payroll. I mean, we have an obligation to do that. And they set up so that they could move people to direct deposit and make sure they could still print checks and work remotely in the event that somebody became sick. So in the finance office, and Lily's here as well, one of the issues, especially in some of these smaller towns with the treasurers, is getting a number of people to sign off in order for the board to be authorized signatures to pay the bills. So for example, the money gets collected from your town and is put into the town account. And then there's a scheduled payment that says we move money from the town to the school district account. And then you go through that process and you get a manifest that says we have to pay X number of dollars for payroll. But then you approve that, and then it goes to the treasurer, who then has to sign off on all the checks. So there are a number of moving parts that we're trying to be minimized by moving the money from the town account over to the school district account. So the money would already be in there. You're the only agents, the school board members are the only authorizing agents that can approve the spending of school district dollars. So if you had the money in that account, doesn't mean that you have to spend the money. It just means that it's already there and you've cut out a couple of steps in order to authorize it. So back then, at the beginning of March, middle of March, we were very concerned about having somebody get sick, either a treasurer or school board members, or the inability. I mean, I've gotten notices from my credit unions in different places that they're closing down. We've been, knock on wood, fairly fortunate not to be hamstrung that much, but it was really forward thinking on behalf of the finance department to move that money to over to the school district account just to minimize. I don't know, Lily is here on the call, if you have anything else that might help explain the situation.
Certainly. Thank you very much. The amount of money that's left that the town of Jackson has collected on behalf of the school district that is left to fund the school district accounts and is due by June 30th is now $443,673. And I think Kevin covered all the other bases. We were just trying to ensure that should there be a problem in obtaining those funds from the town and paying them to the school district and getting them deposited, we just were trying to avoid any snafus in cash flow.
So you folks don't have the ability to do that. So this was simply a letter to the selectmen for their consideration. And now they could take a vote and say, you know what, we've never missed a payment, we're fine, we'll make sure that people get paid. Or they could simply say, yeah, we could do that now. So all it is really just a letter from the school board if you felt as though you wanted to do that to the selectmen, and then they in turn can do with it as they want.
Great. I'm good. Anybody questions? Okay. All right, so E, consider approval of food service agreement with Bartlett 2021.
So Jen, I'm sorry. It
Yeah.
should have, are you saying that you would sign the letter on behalf of the
Yes,
Jack?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm looking at it. It looks like I've already signed it, so I'm good.
Sorry about that.
No, my fault. Anything else? Thank you, Kevin, for that. That makes sense. Okay, approval for the food service agreement with Bartlett for 2021.
Make a motion to approve the food service agreement with Bartlett for 2020, 2021.
I can second.
Roll call. I'm a yes.
Yes for me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sleeping here. Dennis is a yes. Jerry Doherty is a yes. Keith Bradley,
Yes.
Kate Fournier,
Yes.
and Micah. Sorry
Yes.
about that.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, consider donation of Friends of the Whitney Community Center.
Make a motion to approve the donation to the Friends of the Whitney Community Center.
Second.
Thank you. Does anybody want to talk about this before we approve it? Per the policy, the school board needs to approve the donation of $5,734.27 to the Friends of the Whitney Center from June 30th to 2020. They're still doing pretty well with this. Okay. All those in favor?
Janet
Yes.
Alden,
Yep. Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Kate,
Yes.
and Micah.
Yes.
Okay. Now we're back to you, Kevin.
All right, just give me a second here and I'll pull up a different document. Take a look at. Can you guys see that screen there? Is that new screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not going to go through verbatim. We'll post this out. I'm going to give you the macro view of COVID-19 and how it's impacted our entire district. And then I think Gail will give you the specifics about Jackson Grammar School. So this is just a running piece and record. And I have to say that, extremely proud of everybody in SAU 9 and the building administrators from its inception. We began having conversations in probably the beginning of March. I think the first nurses meeting I had was at the end of February. Started looking at these pieces, kept it on the radar with the administration. And then really March 14th, I called in all the administrators and pulled the plug on remote learning and said, this is the way we're going to do it. The governor came on the next day. We met bright and early on that Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. And I just put out an invitation to all the administrators to say, hey, I'll be in the office unbeknownst to the governor coming on. And we had everybody in the district administration showing up and really tackling the part of, hey, we have to get ready for a week from Monday to go remote learning and put things in place. And from the district level, it just is a huge undertaking. And for the teachers and the support staff, the scheduling that had to be put into place, the meal distribution, it took us basically one day to get over 800 lunches and 700 breakfasts delivered every single day, district-wide, getting all of the devices into the hands of the students and the parents for pickup day, as well as the bags of information and materials that they needed. Community has been outstanding. Valley Originals has stepped up. They've donated tremendously to produce in town and with the kids, 68 hours of hunger, getting everything out to the kids that Friday, Saturday was like the first goal line that we had. And then we went live on Monday, the 23rd, and, no easy task, but it was really about connecting with the students. And I know that Gail and Jackson, you guys actually started a little bit earlier, but and then we sent out some surveys, and we know it was week number 1. So just getting the items and the pieces into the kids' hands and reconnecting the students with the staff was goal number 1. So you can see some of the different results. But the majority of the kids and the parents were saying, okay, this is working out pretty well. We do have another survey that we're going to try and get out this week that will go out to everybody, because we know that the results will be different. And what is really a telling piece is the percentage of the students that we did get results from and the parents doesn't represent all of the kids. So I will tell you that in meeting with the family support liaisons and in some of the staff members, there are a lot of struggling families that are out there district-wide. And there is a lot of stress that's out there right now. In the well-being of some of our students and the families, it's starting to take a toll. And we want to be cognizant of that. So we do know that those results were first week, and now we have other issues that we're starting to deal with. But overall, the responses were the students were happy to re-engage with the teachers. The high school and middle school students, very happy to start at 8 o'clock in the morning or 8:30 instead of getting on a bus at 6 in the morning. We know what the research says about high school students and the start of school. Well, this is a testament to that. But that was until, March 26th came on the governor, and then he said, okay, to May 4th. So now we moved the goal line for the end of the whole month of April. So we went back and we took a look at the second time, delivering even more supplies thanks to the Valley, businesses giving shampoo and soap and toothbrushes. It was just a dynamite undertaking. But as an administrative team, we set a goal of creating that equitable, flexible schedule for remote learning that keeps the student learning and well-being at the center while meeting the needs of the staff. And then we had a few guiding questions about how we can build some efficiency, how we can build in some socialization, some enrichment pieces. And then some of the schedule changes took place last week. Your old friend Jess Delavella has been super involved all along the way. I know that some of the different schools were having 80-90% of the students tackling those enrichment projects, and they had really good feedback last week related to that. So now we're at April 20th through the 24th, right? So the teachers and the staff are going to work their days. We started to look at the end of the year considerations. We did the calculations in our office, and you could go to the number of hours, and we could be done by May 29th. But some of the pieces related to that are, if we are done with our students too early, I know the administrators and the staff really, as difficult as it is, we worry about these kids being away June, July, and August potentially without the school contact. So we're balancing those interests. But at the same time, we know these teachers are working their tails off, and then the support staff trying to just do everything they can to put quality instruction in place. So we're hearing a lot of feedback from teachers. We just need a little bit more time. So what we've done is we've said, okay, next week during April vacation, we aren't going anywhere anyway. And we know that our teachers are going to be working during that time. But we've provided flexibility in saying, we're going to ask you to spend 3 days worth of your time preparing and getting ready, because it's not going to be May 4th now. You're talking about June. Last day of students is Jackson, June 12th. I think there probably will be some changing of the schedule delivery for the last week or so, but I think there will be some changes out there. So the staff will be meeting, like I said, we'll be working during that April vacation, but it won't necessarily be, Tuesday morning from 8 to 3 o'clock. We have parents, teachers who are parents as well. They want to give a little bit of time with their kids, and I think respectful for that. So what we've done is we've taken those 3 days and we've backed those off for our students. And we can continue to deliver meals as long as we are providing instruction. Okay, so we're also looking at weekend food service delivery. That was a big concern that we had. You know, these schools that are getting out at the end of May, well, they have to stop food service delivery. And that's something that really concerns me as well. So those are a few pieces to talk about what Kate was talking about, the CARE Act, right? So we have a couple different pieces. And what the federal government is doing is we don't have the exact allocations right now, but we have a pretty good estimate, about 85% of the Title I funding for COVID-19 related expenses, including paying staff. So there are categories that we're keeping. So for example, one of your bus drivers in Jackson, because you're only driving those 3 days, a couple of those days, they're actually working at Kennett Middle School in Conway, and they're getting paid to clean and work there, right? So Conway's paying that piece of their salary. And what we're doing is we're keeping track of it on our timesheets that say COVID-19 related. So for example, if Melissa is riding the bus to do food service delivery, that is COVID-19 related service. So on her timesheet, we're asking that we keep track of those hours because we can get some credits back and some monies back to the district. The unfortunate piece is that we won't get this money probably until after July 1st. So it may not be seen in this year's budget, but moving forward, we hope to see it in next year's budget. So part of that funding under the CARE Act is that it's aimed to keep people employed as well. And one of the things we don't want to do is jeopardize a big chunk of money that we might get in Title I funding to save a few $1,000s here and there and keep people employed. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I know Gail will give you more specifics, but I can handle any big picture questions that you might have.
I think it's awesome, and I'm glad we're taking advantage of it.
Are there any creative ways, any sort of ability to extend food service in any way, or is it just a hard line because of school days?
Well, we're exploring the other model. It's a weekend program type thing. So even during, April vacation, we're delivering 3 meals on that Friday, delivering more meals during the week. And yeah, we're trying to hammer all those different places, Kate, as much as we can. And I will tell you that 68 Hours of Hunger has been, I was just on the phone with the family support liaisons today, and they are delivering more meals now than they ever have before. And people are extremely generous to help out with that. But yeah, we're really coordinating and trying to get, support to keep those meals because it's becoming increasingly more important, and we hear that all the time.
So Kevin, on a side note, I know I work with Mandy for 68 Hours of Hunger. If you need anything on a side note, don't be afraid to reach out to us as the Valley Originals, and we work with Mandy as well. So we'll figure out something.
That's great. Thank you, Jen.
I can second that.
Do you know if they're still taking donations for like toothpaste, shampoos, things like that?
Yeah, bring them right down to my office there, Keith. I got a nice little warehouse.
You got a box truck, you can come pick it up?
We did.
I got about 10 cases of each of those type of things.
Absolutely.
And we're in desperate need of diapers. Families really need diapers, and it's really hard to find. So just do that little plug. Thank you.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. Okay. Gail, sorry.
Hi. Just to kind of fill in specific to Jackson, I had much in the way of what Kevin had shared with you. I think week one, kind of watching the Jackson faculty kind of wrap their brains around, wow, we're going to have to try to provide this, and what will we use for technology? What will we use for programs? Everybody was in a different place in terms of their proficiency with using these tech tools. However, we have been really lucky to have your support as a board and some grant money and the will of the staff, and from Ann Bennett to Allison today, a real commitment to bringing in a one-to-one model where every child has a device available to them. So even the families who did not have devices or did not have internet at home, we worked to get them hotspots, to get them devices that they could use. The bus drivers, and with Melissa's help, have been running and shuttling materials and whiteboards and markers and crayons and books. And the bus goes off not only with food in the morning, but it stops in and gets school supplies and materials that families need packaged up and ready to go out to them. So that whole system kind of came together in the first week. And then we began teaching. Our daily schedule is 8 to 9. The teachers have call-in hours, collaboration hours. It's when they're getting ready to do their day. They're working with the children directly for the most part of 9 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon. And then in the afternoon, some services are provided during the school day, but there are other services that continue to occur between 1 and 3. The second week, we began to get our specialists online, our speech and OT and reading specialist, all figured out how to provide services, or tried to figure out how to provide services remotely. And that all came together pretty well. The paraprofessionals was kind of the last place where we filled in para services with families who just needed us review of some basic facts and some kind of support to keep their student moving forward. I'm also really proud of our families. We're fortunate to be in a community where the families take education really seriously. And for the most part, they're working really hard in their households to get their kids to show up on time, to get the kids to do the work they need to do, and to follow through and communicate with us. At the moment, the teachers are reaching out to all the families because, as you may know or have noticed, we did not do a trimester 2 report card. So the teachers are making personal contact and having meetings with families in lieu of that report card. And we've been looking at different ways of assessing and collecting data on how the kiddos are doing, so that we'll be able to report on standards at the end of the year. We have, during this, each teacher kind of did their own schedule based on the age group. We've been raising chicken eggs remotely in the chicken coop down at Kristen Grove's house. They have 6 robust little chicks there now watching. That was kind of cool. Kristen loves to perform on YouTube, so if you have a chance to see the chicken cam, Kate can hook you up with that. I'm sure she and Rent have been watching the chicken cam. Small group reading sessions are going on. So again, I really can't say enough about how our teachers are supporting each other. All by themselves, they set up a weekly 1 to 2 hour meeting outside of their school hours to have what they call their PLC time. And they're sharing all kinds of different tools and apps and methods and problem solving with each other. So, I mean, it's not an ideal way. We'd certainly prefer to have the kiddos there in front of us and be able to foster that personal relationship with them. However, I think we're doing a really good job of trying to pull everything together to replicate a school experience, which also is caring for the kids. We're doing some social lunches now with the younger kids, and our enrichment program is a week behind. We'll start our enrichment program this Friday with some offerings. We're calling it's kind of like the after school program, but happening all on Friday. So there'll be some sessions for them to participate in on Friday. And at the moment, now that we've gotten the schedule for going to the end of the year, Joanna and I have begun to talk about transition plans for our sixth graders, how we can help them make that transition. One of the things that will happen in the enrichment is there's going to be a babysitting program and a reading group made up of Bartlett and Jackson students together, the older students, so they can begin to communicate with each other in that way. And we're also looking at ways we can provide our sixth graders with a promotion and some of the traditions that the sixth graders before them benefited from, the yearbook and such, trying to keep those traditions intact if we can.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Is there a plan for like remote kindergarten registration, or just pushing that closer to September? How will that work this year?
We've gotten a plan for that yet. We'll be making a plan. Likely Pam can comment with the entire SAU. I know that the registration takes place online, so we're still going to ask the parents to register. But as far as the screening, that will have to happen at a different date, but we haven't set that yet.
So sweet and so fun.
Yeah. That's right. You have another one coming, don't you?
Yep, Sir Gus.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Gail. I know you guys have been doing an outstanding job as the whole community. The J-Town is open and we have customers coming in often asking questions or providing comments unsolicited about the school and what's going on. And no one has said anything negative. It's all been outstanding, from the food to the teachers to everything has been top notch as far as people say about our school district. So it's been really a positive experience. So.
And I think they like the musical bus. I was a little afraid we'd get them, but they seem to like the music on the bus.
I think it's awesome. I love it. All right. Thank you. Okay. Board member issues, committee reports. Do we have any committee reports? I do not have any committee reports this time.
Nope, because it's reorganization, so we didn't really have anything between town meeting or district meeting and here.
Great. Board discussion.
Can I ask a quick question? Can we get this packet on email, or is there some legal reason we can't?
No, my office would love to do that. And I think the Jackson board I would highly recommend getting it electronically.
Yeah, that'd be excellent. I didn't even know it was coming this way. I just happened to go to the post office and I was very excited I did. So yeah.
I get it both ways just because of the way that our life works. That works best for me. But so you can get it both ways or a single way.
Yeah, I don't mind it both ways. We need to vote on that.
Just to protect Lori a little bit, either one way or the other would be. I mean, she could still mail it and then email it, I guess. It's just when half the board wants one way and half the board wants a different way.
Anybody want to make a decision on that now?
I think last year we tried to change it to all digital, and everybody kind of had a hard time with working that out, and so we went back to paper, but I still have digital copies for whatever reason.
I just feel like with COVID right now, I'm trying not to go to the post office, and who knows what's going to happen in the coming months. So, you know, I'm all supporting the USPS, and yet I think it'd be great in light of what's going on now, to certainly have it electronically.
So just to be fun, I'll make a motion that we go to all electronic for the agendas.
I second that.
Correspondence.
Okay, all those in favor? Roll
Janet,
call. Yes.
Jerry.
Yes.
Keith.
Yes.
Kate.
Yes.
And Micah.
Yes.
Yes. Lori will be very happy. Thank you.
Good. Okay, any other board discussion at this time? We'll move on to set the date for the next meeting, May 18th. Anybody going anywhere? No, okay. We have the Bartlett Jackson.
That's if restrictions are lifted. I'll be the first one out of town.
Before that, we have a May 5th, we have a Jackson Bartlett Joint Board meeting at 5 p.m. And we'll figure that out. So you'll all get the invite for that before then. And then our next appointment of a representative to the Cooperative School District Planning Committee.
Actually, I have a question, if you don't mind, while we're there. So, Kevin, do you know? Let's say Sununu's already said no school the rest of the year. Let's say that social distancing restrictions, or there's some restrictions that are released on his May 3rd data right now. Any idea, would we be able to meet as a group? Are you hearing anything there? Or?
I don't think we're going to be meeting in any type of large group for quite a while, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so basically because school was canceled, we'll probably, regardless of what else happens, we still probably won't be able to meet?
Yeah. I mean, I don't see that happening in May. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I think, and I understand both sides of the equation, but depends on where you look, right? They're predicting what, May 18th is where it's going to
that's not really what I'm asking against. What I'm saying is, let's say for some miracle reason things are restricted. Are we going to be forced to still meet remotely for the rest of the school year because they canceled school?
Well, they didn't cancel school, they just went remote.
Does that mean we can't go, regardless of what happens, we can't go back into a school to have a meeting?
Correct.
Yeah, right now there's nobody coming in and out of the office. We could provide a room for you, but I don't think I would be in there right now.
Yeah, no, I guess, no, that's not really what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if, let's say, things improved, the fact that he's already canceled school for the year, does that mean that there's no way we would be able to meet for this rest of the school year, regardless of the situation?
I don't think one thing has anything to do with the other, Keith.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I just didn't know because he suspended school the whole year, that means everything.
No. I think one of the pieces was in talking with the healthcare professionals in our districts, and there is an awful lot that has to take place in order to bring back people to the schools, in students as well as staff members. A lot of protocols that have to be put into place where there are so many unanswered questions right now regarding how that will take place, that they aren't prepared for re-entry into the school at this point. Even coming back in September or the end of August, there will be a lot of changes that will have to take place depending upon what the status is. But if people want to, I mean, what's going to happen with graduation, we're kicking around a bunch of ideas, I will tell you, and most of them are with social distancing of some way for the kids, whether it's in June or whether it's July or whether it's in August. We'll let you know a little bit more, but I think there's some creative ideas out there that just may work. So, but as far as meetings go, yeah, I don't know as right now, I don't see the near future being anything but virtual meetings. I will tell you that the appointment of the representative to Cooperative School District Planning Committee, my recommendation is take no action tonight. Conway still hasn't voted yet, so I don't know if that you can put somebody on there right now, but I don't know. They're going to vote May 12th, I think, and hopefully they vote to have that planning committee. If not, it'd be a different planning committee. So you can take action tonight or put it under old business next month.
So is this, to be clear, well, I just want to make it, the appoint the representative, does it have to be one of a school board member at this point, or is this not a school board member?
So the way the Warren article is written, as per RSA, at least one member comes from the Jackson School Board. The moderator then appoints 2 other members. Now, that's not to say that 2 board members couldn't be appointed, but at least one has to be from the Jackson School Board.
Okay. So if we can vote on it later, but I just want people to think about, are they interested in being on this? If somebody wants to reach out to myself after the meeting to discuss it, I'd be happy to talk to them about it. So we have an idea. But we don't have to vote on this tonight. Are we okay with moving this to the next meeting? I am.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so we'll do that. Is that all right, Kevin?
Absolutely.
Great. Okay, citizen comments? Last roll, last call. Okay, sign the manifest. Now we should go into non-public. So thank you, everybody, for coming who is not part of the school board. I appreciate it.
So Jen, at this point, you should say, we're going into non-public session via RSA 91-A:3 to for personnel matter by roll call.
So moved for me anyway. I think we need to make a motion for that.
All right. Motion to go into non-public session RSA 91-A:3, 2.
So moved.
Second.
By roll call, Jenny Insaldi,
Yes.
Jerry Doherty,
Yes.
Keith Bradley,
Yes.
Kate Fournier,
Yes.
and Micah Burhart.
Yes.
Okay, so at this point, I'm going to ask everybody to exit the meeting except for school board members, Pam Stimson and Gail Dombowski. And I will stop recording. We will adjourn from non-public.
Thank you.